B. Tatum Show.
It's the B. Tatum.
I wasn't supposed to be live right now. Nobody know I'm live but me.
It's the B. Tatum Show. It's the B. Tatum. It's the B. Tatum Show.
I don't know what dance that is, but it's my dance. It's the B. Tatum. All right. I like that. I like that little intro. I like it. Welcome to the B. Tatum Show. I got a couple things I want to talk about real quick and shout out to my man Anthony Cimino. Anthony Cimino running for governor of California, and I really do believe that he's the best choice. If you haven't heard of Anthony Cimino, you need to just Google him, look him up. A personal self-made successful businessman, man of God, loves his family, all of the above. And so if you're looking for somebody to support it as the governor of California, Anthony Cimino is the person. I endorsed Anthony. I was there at his launch party. I think he's an incredible guy. I really do. If I had to choose anybody that's running, I will choose Anthony Cimino. So anyway, I thought I'd shout that out. I'm wearing a shirt, so I figured I'd give him a shout out. Let's talk about the young girl, Sha'carri Richardson. And everybody's talking about this, but let me tell you why it really means a lot to me, this subject matter, not only as a American of African descent, as a former police officer, as a person that just loves America and just want to see our young people do better. I won't say I have mixed emotions about this, but I have mixed emotions about the way other people are reacting to this. I'm going to tell you the way I think that the reaction should be, in my opinion. Shikari Richardson, and if you guys don't know who she is, this young lady was probably one of the most talented track stars ever to run. I mean, she is dominating. She was dominating. You know, the young girl just killing it. You know what I'm saying? She went to LSU. She had a chance to compete in the Olympics. She's been balling since she was a freshman in college. She's been whooping them since she was a freshman. And so, you know, what leads a person to, you know, believe that she's going to be great, it doesn't take a rocket scientist to get to that point. However, I think that Sha'carri really embodies some of the negative things that go on in the black community that nobody want to talk about, but people make excuses for. Now let's talk about the marijuana thing, because obviously she got banned from running in the Olympics, which is in a couple months. She got banned from running in the Olympics, which would be her first Olympic appearance, which would be incredibly, you know, that it's such an incredible accomplishment for a young lady, and a young lady that appeared to have come from a humble beginning. However, she won't be participating in the Olympics unless they somehow change the scenario, or something fall out the sky and the Olympic committee or whoever made this decision kind of renege. The reason why she's not able to compete is because she decided knowingly to smoke marijuana, to smoke weed, to get high, knowing that it could cost her her Olympic appearance. Now, I got to give her credit, and I think that my biggest thing is when you're wrong, just say you're wrong. Don't make no excuses. Don't blame the white man. Don't do none of that. Just say, I was wrong, I messed up, this is what I chose to do. And that's what she's done. And I have, that's the only thing that I like about this whole scenario with her, is that when it happened, she didn't make no excuses. She didn't lie like some of these other athletes and saying, I don't know how I got in my drug. I don't even use drugs. Maybe I was at a party and somebody blew smoke in the air and it went through the vent and then came into the restroom and out of the toilet, and then it dropped in my drink. So when I drank it, I got marijuana in my system. That's what some people would do. She said, I knew what I was doing when I did it, but I did it anyway. And that don't make it any better, but at least she admitted to it. Now, here is my whole thing. Should marijuana be a factor in whether athletes are able to compete in the Olympics or not? I don't think it should be. I don't even understand why marijuana is even on the books at this point. I don't understand why. And a lot of people make the comparison to say, well, if you're transgender, you can run in sports, so a person smoking weed should be able to run in sports. Those are two different things. However, I think people should be contesting both of those. Transgender men should not be competing against women. And also, or transgender women, or whatever you call it, they shouldn't be competing against women. And also, marijuana should not be a factor. However, until they change the rules, you should not smoke marijuana. This is the problem with minority communities and people in America in general. Stop trying to make excuses about breaking the law or why the law should be what it is. Marijuana is not legal to do while playing sports. All the other people did it. I know when I was in college, you can't smoke weed. Dudes did it. They passed the drug test by luck. But it doesn't matter whether I agree with it or not. If it's not legal, then I can't do it. And if I want to do it, I need to fight to make it legal. Then once it's legalized, then I can do it all I want to smoke till my eyes pop out. But it's not legal. So what are the ramifications, Mr. Tatum? Because it's not legal and you did it anyway, you have missed out on an incredible opportunity that could have changed your life forever. But marijuana was more important than a life-changing event with money, sponsorships, winning the Olympics. This young girl, she could have won the Olympics. Shikari could have won the Olympics. I mean, if you win in America, you normally you'll be the winner, unless some Jamaican woman come beat you. And I think she had the fastest time in the world, or she was top in the world. And on that day with real competition, she could have walked them down. I don't have any doubt about that. Somebody said, let's talk about saving our country from a stolen election. What it would take to recall Biden when the audit turns what it shall be. JPX, thank you for the super chat, $9 super chat. Thank you. We shouldn't live like this. If it's illegal, get the law changed. Get the board to change it. Then participate in the activity. Don't throw your life away over smoking weed. Because this was an opportunity of a lifetime. And her excuse was, and this is why you need a daddy in your life, a strong, confident dad in your life. Her excuse was her biological mom. When somebody say biological mom, that means they don't live with that person. And that means that person did not raise them. When you say my biological mom died, that means that person is not, probably have nothing to do with your life. That's why you call it my biological mom. Because that means the woman that technically gave birth to me has died. Now, that doesn't make it hurt any less depending on who you are. But the way you cope with it is to ruin your career. That's not the way to cope with it. But that's the mindset that we have trained and raised a lot of young people with. Is that, do you, boo. It's your life. Just do you. Smoke weed if you want to. So, ain't nobody care. Like, I'm the best anyway. It's not the way to think. That's not the way a father would teach his daughter how to conduct herself. The father should be there for the daughter when mama is no longer there. Dad should embrace his daughter and give her security where she don't feel like she got to go somewhere and do something that she shouldn't do, knowingly or unknowingly. When I say unknowingly, I mean without understanding the consequences. But we're not teaching them that. We're from the mountaintop, we're yelling, Dad, that's messed up. The Olympics shouldn't have the laws this way. We shouldn't do this. They shouldn't do this. They shouldn't be. No, she shouldn't have done that. The laws, we can talk about that later. She shouldn't have done that. This is negative reputation for her family and who she is, with a tremendous legacy in track and field that it could be gone now. It could be. The Olympics only come once every 4 years. Young lady may be at her peak performance. And every time somebody peaks and they go down from there. Unless you're taking drugs, you're taking stimulus drugs or whatever you call it, stimulating drugs taking hormones and all kind of other stuff to give you a competitive advantage. Other than that, you're not reigning champion this long. This could be her prime. She could scratch, pull a hamstring in the prelims next Olympics. Marijuana was not worth this. And yes. Is that right? Somebody said, my wife said she was only disqualified for one race or whatever. I trust you, baby. I trust you. But still, I mean, regardless of that, what precedent is this setting, and why would you do this and take a chance anyway? Why would you do that? Why would you risk that? My wife said that she can still compete in some other things, which I recant that she ruined her whole life. But this is not the way you teach people to behave like this. You don't do that. Because and again, you get there, you lose sponsorships, or you get there, you drop the stick, you pull a hamstring, you don't have any medals, you have done nothing. And this is not acceptable for us to teach our children or our kids to be okay with it. It's not the government that's the problem. It's your behavior that's the problem. And then you change the government through legitimate means. I think we have an argument that marijuana should not be a factor in sports anymore. I think we have a good argument. And if that's your fight, then fight for that. Get it changed. You know, if there's certain drugs or something that should not be banned in the Olympics, then don't do those drugs. I mean, then fight for those drugs to not be bannable offenses. But don't do the wrong thing and then hope for remorse and recourse on the back end. That's just my opinion, because it could have been worse. I mean, who knows? Who knows? But people should not do this. Just to, deal with the pain of your mom or whatever, which could be a difficult thing. You don't go and put yourself in a worse position just to deal with the pain of your mom. And then I saw a little thing that it said that the young lady had a girlfriend. And this is just another, in my opinion, this is just another reason why you need a strong dad in your life. You need a strong dad in your life. There's a need for strong men to be raising these children. Somebody said people are claiming racism now. Yeah, it has nothing to do with racism. You either fail the drug test or you're not. And your boy that swim, he got messed up. He was smoking weed too and got suspended and all kind of stuff. And he white. B, any plans for the 4th of July? I noticed that a lot of blue states ban fireworks and red states make it legal. We got fireworks going. We got them ready to go. They can ban fireworks in these blue states all they want. It don't affect patriotic states. But somebody said Tatum too much judgment. See, this is the problem. I'm glad somebody said Tatum too much judgment. Here's the problem with that. Is that people don't want to ever correct any of these issues. When I look at trends of people going down the wrong path and doing the wrong things and ruining their career, these are examples of how that happens. Because people like the person in the comment section said, you don't judge. What do you expect? How do people grow? How do people learn? How do people mature? How do you help people out if you can't say anything about what they're doing? It's dumb. It's like if my child was to do something like this, and I say the same thing. I'm not saying anything different of this young lady than I would say to my own family member or my own child, daughter or son. Now, are you gonna tell me not to judge my own son or my own daughter? Oh yeah, of course you will. Quit being soft, people. Quit being soft. Now that's one person out of all you patriotic soldiers out there, but quit being soft. The people saying don't judge. That's the most cowardice. I'm sick of that term. You're not supposed to judge people. Yeah, what do you even mean? Am I not supposed to have the ability to evaluate somebody's behavior? Is that I can't do that because it hurts your feelings? Now, if I said she was an incredible athlete and she was raised by good parents and they trained her hard, she's such a fighting person, You wouldn't have a problem with me making that judgment. But if I say, this is the problem that I have seen with young athletes, even in my own life, that are incredibly talented, but they have no direction. They have nobody standing there saying, this is an example of excellence. Not being good, not being okay, not being the top of your game. This is excellence. People who participate in excellence, they don't do these things. If you want to be great, you don't do these things. Sonya Richardson. I know Sonya Richardson. Well, I know her. You know, my brother and her husband used to be best friends in college, and I met her a couple times. She's the fastest woman in the world in a 400. She's the reigning champion for I don't know how long. She not smoking weed, and she's Jamaican. She not failing drug tests. Is she? No, she's not. No, she's not. I mean, look at these other people that are very successful. They're not failing drug tests. The young lady that broke the record in the hurdles, she's not failing drug tests. She's not failing drug tests. She's not smoking marijuana and failing drug tests. Why? Because her success and her career and her goals and everything she worked for is more important than smoking weed. You know, I'm gonna tell you this. There is no excuse. This is my opinion. Recreational smoking weed, I personally think that it is leading young people down the wrong path. Medical use of marijuana is probably one of the greatest inventions there is the medical use of marijuana. So if you have a medical reason to use it, I think it's fair. I think it's fair for you to get a medical evaluation and then be able to use marijuana medically. But I don't like the recreational smoking of marijuana. And a lot of times I think because people abuse it and they get hooked on it and they use it to suppress their own cognitive ability to deal with things in life, stress or whatever the case may be. And they become zombies to it. They become zombies to it. A lot of people that I know that are not using it for medical purposes, right? They become zombies. They can't be cool. They can't hang around you without being high. They can't. Now, I'm not saying that's her situation. Neither was it the situation for Ricky Williams, but a lot of other young people, they can't even be normal anymore. Because now it's when I'm normal, I'm not cool. I'm irritated. I can't stand you. I got to be high. Most of y'all know people like that. They got to be high. They come around. They like this half of the time. And it's just like, that's not good for you, man. It's not good for you. And I don't believe the same thing with drinking alcohol. Like, if you can sip on a little alcohol every now and again, that's fine. If you become dependent on it where you can't have a good time or you can't be around people without getting drunk, then I don't know what's going on with you. Cop forgot to turn body camera on in shooting, fired. I think that's ridiculous. The push to these body cameras, man. Like, I think not turning on the body camera during a critical incident is a mistake, and you should be written up for it. But to be fired because of it, I don't understand how. Nobody's thinking about pushing a button on your chest when the rubber hit the road. You're just not thinking about it. I didn't have a body worn camera, but I know every time I go to a car with somebody, like, oh shoot, I forgot to push this stupid button. And then you turn it off when you're not doing anything. And there could be a long period of time where you're not doing anything. And you're hanging out. You're talking to other officers. You go get you a drink. You may stop by and talk to a homeless person and say, hey, man, how you doing? Get off the street, man. You can't be here. Next call. And then something hit the road and then you're thinking about life and death. You're not thinking about pushing a button on your chest somewhere. Just so the world can see and hold you accountable. I mean, come on, man. If you don't trust the police officers, that you shouldn't hire them. If the chief can't trust the police officers with the body worn camera on or off, you shouldn't hire them. You shouldn't hire them if you can't trust them, because that thing may malfunction. And then what happens? I don't know what to do. The body worn camera malfunction. It's just dumb to me. Let's see. It's like super chat. Jessica, Tatum is not judging. He is giving his own opinion. Thank you. Somebody that's have courage. It's not about. I don't understand this concept of judgment, and people try to put God in this too. God said don't judge. I mean, the whole Jesus Christ's whole ministry was judgment. It was judgment. Now, we are to righteously judge. You can't condemn. Now, if I said she ain't never gonna be done in life, she going to hell. Now that'll be that. I can't say that. That's not legitimate to say because I don't really know what she's gonna do in her life. I can't read the future, and also I can't tell if she's going to heaven or hell because I don't know her heart. But if I say, hey, these things lead to negative outcomes, that's an opinion based on, you can call it research, you can call it life experience. That's what that is. Let's see. Hadeza, I'm probably saying your name wrong. I feel bad for her, but she knew the rules. She also seemed to accept responsibility. I think it raises a point that weed and performance enhancers are not legal, but you can be a biological man competing against women. That's a point that people have made. I think is different, but I also think that that's something that we should be looking at. I mean, first of all, for performance enhancing drugs, marijuana is not a performance enhancing drug. It's not a performance enhancing drug. I mean, I don't think you smoke marijuana and you become faster and you get more testosterone or something like that. So marijuana is not a performance enhancing drug. So it's not even on the same level as, steroids and all this other stuff that they use. However, and I think transgenderism, or a man turning into a woman to compete against against women, is not a performance enhancing drug. However, it puts people at a disadvantage. It's not fair. It's not fair. You might as well let women take performance enhancing drugs and then also allow men to run against women who have been legitimately, or you could say that they have been, their whole life have been a performance enhancing drug. So I do agree. I mean, conservatives make the point, transgender versus weed, but I think they're all separate things. I think that marijuana, athletes should fight that marijuana is not, have no bearing in your performance. Now, I would say your performance as a professional. Your performance in college, that's different. You are contractually under scholarship, or if you walk on or whatever, you are contractually obligated to certain things associated with the football team or basketball team or soccer program. And if the coach don't want you smoking weed and getting high, that coach has every right to discipline you on that or hold you accountable to that. Now, a professional athlete that's independent, running with their own independent team, professional, whatever, you should be able to do what you want to do, unless your coach say that you shouldn't be able to do that. All right, let me get these super chats. Arfel, let's see, liberty or death, bro. Apply the same dangerous risk of abuse to firearm legality. Oh wait, pots find seek God. Okay, I don't know. Okay, why don't they have an automatic feature on a body cam that turns on when a taser or gun is drawn? That could be, first of all, it's going to cost a fortune to do that. You're talking it costs hundreds of millions of dollars just to download just to keep the cloud of data. I think that's a good point, though. Therefore, it's dummy proof. Janice, thanks so much for the super chat. I'm gonna come back to that question because I think it's legitimate. I think it's something that I should expand on. Let's see, reviews at all. God did say, judge Isaiah 58:1. Everyone loves to throw out, stop judging and claim to be a Christian, but it is in scripture to speak on ungodly things. 100%. Where my sounds at? Give them a round of applause. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank God. Okay, somebody got some sense. Let's see. Marijuana is a Schedule I drug and still illegal federally and can take away your gun rights even if your state is legalized. It's under 18 USC 922. Same thing. I mean, I agree with that, and the same thing is with being an illegal alien. But you can live in a sanctuary state and federal law does not apply to you. However, I see why people say it's a Schedule I drug and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. However, there's things that are not illegal drugs that you still can't take and compete. They're illegal, but you can't take them and compete. So That's no here nor there in my personal opinion. Lando, thanks so much for the super chat. KJ, Shikari just made a poor choice. It happens, but trying to excuse it with isms or unfairness is weak and counterproductive. I agree. I 100% agree. She did. Listen, she knew it was wrong. She was smoking it. She was smoking blunts or whatever, getting high. I know it's wrong. I'm going to do it anyway. You know, they going to catch me or they going to catch me. One of the two things happened, and it's, take accountability. You smoke, you got caught, you got to sit out. Who knows? Y'all dropped a stick in the 4x1, you're done. You end up leaving with no medals. Or y'all dropped a stick in the 4x1, you run the 200 and lose, you pull a hamstring. Well, you know, it could be all these different things, but you didn't have to have any distractions on your way to the Olympic team like the other athletes, even the other black athletes. They don't have to worry about nothing. They own their way. With the clean reputation. You got a tainted reputation from now on because you failed a drug test. People are going to always talk about this. Whether they like you or not, they're going to bring up the fact you failed a drug test. It's not worth it. Part of the problem in our communities is that people are scared to give sound advice and guidance to the youth. It takes a village, B. Tatum. Your voice is influential, and you must say what you are saying. Amen, said bro. And let's talk about this body-worn camera thing. The dash cam in a police vehicle, when you turn the lights and sirens on, it automatically turns on. So as soon as you turn the lights and sirens on, the dash cam turns on. You know, maybe the body-worn camera should automatically turn on when you exit the vehicle. So when you get out your patrol car, it should automatically turn on. Now you could turn it off if you're not doing anything police related, but you shouldn't have to worry about turning it on. That's like why do police officers not load their gun, not have their gun without one in the chamber or unloaded when they're walking around? Because that's one more thing that you shouldn't have to worry about. When somebody comes up to you, you shouldn't have to worry about whether you got to load your gun or not. Is it loaded? Is it not? It's always loaded. You pull it and pull the trigger. That's all you do. That's one more thing you got to worry about in a life and death situation is trying to find this button on your chest to push it. You know, it may escape you that you even have a body-worn camera in a life and death situation. Not unless you intentionally did it, then the chief has the discretion to fire you or not. But to make that something that's more important than it should be, whatever. But like said, bro said, and I think this is incredibly invaluable to have this conversation, is that people are afraid of having an opinion, and people are afraid of just keeping it real and telling other people and taking a strong stance. Everybody want to sit around and say, well, it's your truth or my truth. No, it ain't no your truth, my truth. It's the truth. And then it's an opinion. That's how it works. Like, I can have an opinion. I'm in America. I can have an opinion about anything. That's why I have a YouTube channel, because I have an opinion about everything, and I give my opinions on here. And then there's a such thing called objective truth. It's something called truth, and you can't evade the truth. The truth is marijuana is illegal. That's a truth. Now, my opinion is that it shouldn't be illegal, especially not in this day and age. Also, my opinion is that I don't think it's good for the population. I don't think it's good. But then again, I don't see why it's illegal. It doesn't make sense to be illegal, but I don't think it's good. I wouldn't tell my son to smoke weed. I'll tell him to stay away from it. I'm grown. I can smoke weed if I want. It's legal in Arizona now. I'm not going to buy marijuana and smoke it. That's my own personal decision. The legality of marijuana is a fact. It's a truth. My opinion of whether it should be illegal or legal is an opinion. Sha'carri Turner getting suspended. Sha'carri Turner is a young lady name that's very similar to Sha'carri Turner, but that's why I messed it up. But Shikari Richardson, it is a fact that she got suspended. It is my opinion that I think that she shouldn't have done what she did to end up getting suspended, and I think that it speaks to a bigger issue within young people, a bigger issue within fatherlessness. And your daddy can be alive, don't mean you have a father. Your daddy not involved, him being alive don't mean nothing. You got to have an active dad. When you look at when she won the race, she ran up and hugged her grandma. She didn't hug her dad. Her dad wasn't on the field. Her dad wasn't there. She hugged her grandma and cried and laid on her grandma. And if I had to guess, she lived with her grandma. She probably lives with her grandma, and her grandma has raised her. Her biological mama, for whatever reason, she could be caught up in a dope game. She could have went to prison. She could have gotten killed. I mean, whatever. She could be mentally ill. She could be deranged. Whatever reason that she can't raise her own kid. And that's my opinion. I don't know that to be true. But I wasn't born yesterday. I grew up in the black community my whole childhood. I know what these things look like. I know when grandma raising the kids. You know what I'm saying? When you see grandma like that, that's not just, I love my grandma, I appreciate my grandma. That's because my grandma raised me. My grandma is like my mama. You know, like, here's the thing. Like, you could tell, generally speaking, because daddy may be at work or something and can't make it to the game. You can tell who has a father and who does not have a strong father in their lives. You can tell right away. You can see the young girl win the race and daddy is either standing next to mom or she's hugging her dad. Or hugging her mom with her dad right there, or hugging her mom and dad. When you see a young girl run up there and hug her grandma and it ain't nothing but women standing there, you know that she don't have a dad. And then when a young girl that's this successful is choosing to use marijuana, you know nobody's guiding her properly or haven't been raising her properly for her to do that. Because there's other athletes that we see that have won that happen to be Americans of African descent, and they're not even thinking about this stuff. Now in the off season they may smoke as much weed as they want to, but they're not going to smoke in the season and risk getting in trouble for it. That's a big risk. Let's see, Bub Savvy. What's wrong with Major Williams for governor of California? You mentioned that the other day. Can you clarify? Major Williams is a fraud. If people have not seen, and nothing against you, but if people have not been able to identify the fact that Major Williams is a complete fraud at this point running for governor, I don't know what to tell you. What are you doing? Are you vetting your candidates? The dude is a fraud. Let me just give you an example of fraudulent behavior. And you should be able to see it from a mile away. And this is my opinion. This is my opinion. You may like the fact that he has suspicious behaviors with his FEC report. You may find it totally fine that women have come out and said that he's done things to them or done things, touching them inappropriately, pushing up, kissing them. I saw the text message where he invited a girl to his room, his phone number and her phone number, inviting a girl to his room, and he married. Now, you may think that that's totally fine. So, and it's not illegal to cheat on your wife. And well, in some states it is. But it's not a prosecutable offense in many cases, and people don't even prosecute people for it, to cheat on your wife. So, and I'm not saying that I saw him do it. I'm saying that when you invite a young lady to your room on a text message that I saw, bro, and then women are coming out saying that you hitting on them and doing all this stuff, right or wrong, brother, that speaks to your character. That speaks to your character, bro. And then you ain't a threat to nobody. Everybody wants a black man to win. I'm just gonna be honest. I wish the dude was real, because I would support him if he was real. I would love for a American of African descent that's a good Christian man to run California. We don't have examples of that. I would love young dudes in Crenshaw and whatever can see the governor as, I can be the governor one day. Because there's a relatable brother in the office that's keeping it real and pushing conservative values. That dude, Major, ain't that person. The dude gets his head whooped in the mayoral race, and then before he lost the mayoral race, he's trying to run for governor. That's brother. And if anybody have any questions about that or you want more proof, go to my wife's Instagram page. She is exposing all these people. The dude is not quality. And let me say something else. You think about this for a minute. Somebody is attempting to convince you that they want to be the governor of California, right? They want to be the CEO of California, pretty much. That's what that is. When you look in the business sense, the CEO is the person running the company. That's the top dog. Make all the decisions. The CEO makes all the decisions, generally speaking, unless you got the business set up where you have a board and different things like that. But in a general sense, a CEO is the last draw or where the buck stops at the CEO, right? Why? How do you know that, Brandon? Because I'm the CEO of my companies, multiple companies. I make the final decisions. Now, if you're the governor of California, you're generally speaking, you're the CEO of California. And if you're a CEO of the largest economy in America, the 6th largest economy in the world, what experience do you have with budgeting? What experience do you have with finances? Or running a company with finances? Or dealing with millions of dollars? Building anything that have revenue? Where's your experience? If you have none, yet you want to convince people that you should be the governor of California, that in and of itself, you're being disingenuous. You can't even run a campaign clean without people criticizing you based on stuff you didn't allegedly done with women. And not just allegedly, there's evidence of you being creepy with women. They screenshotting stuff. People have seen you. Anyway, allegedly, I saw the text message with the girl telling her come to room so and so and so and so. You got wine in there, whatever, bro. So, and then campaign spending. People are questioning, why are you at this place spending X amount of dollars? How do you spend this much money and you do this and you do that and you do that and you still lose massively in a mayoral race? You have no chance at winning the gubernatorial race. You're just grifting people. The same thing with all these other candidates that are running. You need to look and say, let me slow down a little bit. Of course, I would love to see a minority win the gubernatorial race of California. Why? Because there needs to be change, I think. Now, may the best man win, but it's good to see something different. To me, it's good to see minorities being conservative. I think it wakes more people up when you say, dang, this person is a Republican? I ain't think no black people were Republicans. I ain't think no Hispanic people were Republicans. It really opens up the understanding for certain people. And I think it's good if good people come forward and competitively win. Not you give them a job because they're a minority. They competitively win. I think it's a good thing. But check your people. Check their chances. Check their track record. These people aren't Donald Trump. I think people are getting this misunderstanding of saying anybody can run for governor. Anybody can run for president because Donald Trump ran for president. Donald Trump was 70 years old. This dude had 40, 50 years, I would assume, his whole life. You live in a household with a successful father. You become successful in your 20s. You become a multimillionaire, I think in his 20s. And then you become a billionaire over time, building empires all over the world. Donald Trump was well-traveled. He had relationships in China, relationships in Mexico. He's doing business all over the world. He is a mogul, a real estate mogul, or you can call him that. The dude has his own jets. And the dude understands how the economy works. He's taken advantage of the system, and he's also worked within the system to be very successful. Somebody that understands that much at 70 years old, he's running for president. To me, he's the most qualified president. Politicians are not qualified just because they're a politician. Just because you know how to say this system go like this and this is how it goes, but you don't know how to you don't know how to run. You have never hired anybody. You never fired anybody. You don't have a business. You never came out with a business plan. You've never taken risks with your livelihood. You've never taken any major risks. Because you've been a politician forever. That's the safest job on planet Earth. You just lie to people, they vote for you. That's the safest job on planet Earth. A lot of people, they vote for you, and you become elected. And then most people are too dumb to even check anything you've done after they voted for you. But you look the part, you say the right things, they keep voting for you every year. That's the easiest job for the narcissistic amongst us to be in office and power forever. Check your people, man. Look and see, do they really have a chance of winning, or are they just talking? What does their FEC report look like? What are they doing with their money? Can they manage money? Major Williams pretty much lost a whole bunch of people in his campaign because he's a fraud. But he ain't gonna tell you that because he's a politician. I can't stand the guy, man. I can't stand him. Professionally and personally, I can't stand the guy. I don't know why people get up and do this. They grifting you. They stealing your money. They stealing your money. That's what they're doing. See, it's the difference between people like that and people like me. And people say, Brandon, you a grifter. I'm not a grifter, man. Y'all watch this stuff for free. I ain't charge. You don't get paid. I don't charge you nothing to watch these videos that I bust my neck to make every single day, multiple times a day. I don't charge you anything. I don't charge you nothing. Now, if I got to go up and beyond and do some exclusive content that takes me, I got to hire people to create, well, then, yeah. Then the people who really support me financially can get those different things. But generally speaking, 30 million page views, almost a month. I don't even pay for advertisement. People can watch this for free. You ain't got to do nothing. The ad come on, you can click on it or skip it. You get free content. I'm not saying donate to me so I can keep it going. And it's in perpetuity, meaning that I only do donations. If you want to donate to me because you like what I do, you want to support the channel, whatever, that's fine. That's not how politicians work. You can't say, hey, come to my event. If you want to donate, that's cool. No, they need you to donate to them. That's their whole livelihood is donations. And then they lying to you. See, that's the problem. That's the problem. I'm finna smoke this so hard as soon as I get off this live stream. I love smell of cigars. I like the smell of cigar more than I like to smoke the cigar. I'm gonna be honest. Let me get a couple more of these super chats. Let's see. If it's easier, call me Zara. Okay, Zara is cool. We love the fact that you speak the truth, as well as your views without apology. Setting good examples for young men, make men men again. Amen. Zara, that's my girl right there. My new favorite person. I like what you had to say. What do you consider having Greg Foreman, Black Conservative Perspective, on your show? I thought we had him on. I thought we scheduled him, but I would love to have Black Conservative Perspective on my show. I watch his stuff all the time. And if y'all don't follow him, go follow Black Conservative Perspective. But there is a need, jumping off of the candidate thing, there is a need to have strong, good men in America. There is such a need. And y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. I've gotten away from like telling people to do that. I should tell people to do that from now on, but make sure you hit the like button. That'll give it some reach, give it some legs on the live stream. You know, we used to have 10, 20,000 people watching at one time. I don't know if it's because I haven't been consistent or what, but somehow those numbers don't exist at this point. We're at 2,000. We used to be at 10,000. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. Somebody says cigars don't get you stoned. It make you feel some type of way, but it's not like marijuana, man. I smoked both. I know. I agree. A lot of people now run on the premise of I like Trump and that there are, socially populist, a so-called populist, and think it's enough. It's insulting. 100%. Like most of these people run and say, I'm a Trump supporter. Listen, let me tell you something. And I know this to be true. And a genuine person will tell you this and not take advantage of you. There is an excitement. There is a fetish in some ways of minorities being conservative. Like, white people have been conservative forever. When you see a black man that's conservative, it's something about black, Hispanic, people that are like minorities that typically are not, when they're conservative, people gravitate to them. It's just the way it is, man. If you're a black man and you come out, I'm a Trump supporter, everybody like, oh, because you in some ways become the voice of people who are conservative but cannot say nothing because they'll be called a racist. So you become somehow vicariously, they have faith and encouragement through the things that you say. A reasonable person like myself understands the position, and I'm responsible for keeping it 100 and not being fake. That's how I help us win, is by keeping it real. But there's some people that see it and take advantage of it. I could run for office. I could run for governor. The gubernatorial race that come up in Arizona, I could run for governor. I will raise millions and millions of dollars. I've already had people contact me and say, if you run for governor, I'll support you. And these people are multi-millionaires with $20 million homes. I'm assuming that house was $20 million. It's, I'm not going to say too much because then you'll find out who it is. But people that are very successful, I have a lot of people on my side. I have more notoriety than just about anybody in Arizona that's trying to compete for political positions. I have a lot more. I'm a lot more popular than these people. I'm way more charismatic than these people are, or whatever. I could run for governor. Do I think that that's the best thing for me to do at this point in my career? No, it's not. It's not. I have never been in that position, and I think as a young man, 34 years old, I got a little bit more to learn so I can best represent myself, my family, and the people. I don't want to be making mistakes on the run, not being familiar with how the gubernatorial stuff works. But there's a lot more qualified people that can do that. I could raise millions of dollars. Let me tell y'all how you can grift this. I'm gonna tell you how people can grift this. I come up with a marketing company on my own, Tatum Marketing Company, which I'm developing right now. But just say that I made my own marketing company, and I knew I wasn't gonna win, because it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna win anyway. However, I'm gonna make you think I'm gonna win. I'm gonna make you think I'm really passionate about it. I'm gonna go out, put a suit on, and go hug kids and get somebody to take pictures of me hugging kids when I really don't want to do this and I know I'm not gonna win. But when I raise $10 million, $4 million, $1 million, I funnel $100,000, $200,000 to my digital production team. That they're the ones taking the pictures and doing all this stuff for my campaign. And then I have some person that I know that is my campaign advisor. And that person has a little LLC somewhere. They don't really campaign advise anybody. And I pay them $500,000 to be my campaign advisor. And then that person on the back end split it with me. And now, running for office, I have now made, I don't know, $400,000 or $500,000 in a cycle. That's if I only did $1 million. If I did 20, 30 million money raised, which I don't think the gubernatorial race in Arizona may get that high, but if I did, I'm flying private jets all over the country and doing, man, this is my opinion. I just don't like when I feel like people are trying to take advantage of us. I don't want to take advantage of people. I don't want to run for office. I want nothing to do with that stuff. I feel like I'm more effective like this, and I can support people who got it in on the run. But I would never in my life think about running, although I will make a lot of money running for office. I will make a tremendous amount of money. But I don't want your money. I don't want your money. I don't have to get donations and stuff to get money. We live in a capitalist society. I can create a product that you want to buy, and I can make money that way. I don't have to make money off of people. It's to be honest, capitalism is that easy. Brandon, you want to make a lot of money? Then make something that gives people value that they want to exchange for currency. Make an online e-commerce store that I think 40,000 people have purchased from my store. 40,000 people, 40,000 different purchases or more. I think we're around 40,000. That I don't have to swindle. I don't have to swindle you, trick you, run for office, beg you for money. I create a product, and if you want the product, you buy it. If you don't want it, you don't buy it. It's that simple. That's capitalism. That is capitalism. I don't have to trick you or do nothing. This is how much it costs me to speak. Do you want me to speak, or do you not want me to speak? You want me to speak, then we make an exchange. That's how it works. And I've been really, blessed to have you guys support me on YouTube. I don't need to beg you for nothing on here. I make the video gets a lot of views. The advertisers put their advertisement on my video. They pay me when people click on it. That's it. If 1 million people click on their advertisement, then they pay me. You don't have to pay anything. You're not doing anything. Now you probably shopping on the links and stuff, but I don't need you to do nothing. Just watch the video and hit the like button and share it. That's free. That don't cost you nothing to support the channel. It don't cost you anything. But I'm not finna run for office and grift you. Now I think I could probably I think that I could probably win one of these races, you know, but I just don't think it's the best decision. It will be a selfish decision. It's not a honest, I'm doing this for the people decision, because I don't think that's something I really want to be a part of right at this point. I want to support people who I believe in that can be the governor. That's just how I look at it, man. Like, you know, people out here saying, you know, oh, this person grifting. There's no such thing as a grift, in my opinion, a capitalist grift. Like, there's no such thing as grifting if you make it a voluntary exchange with people. You know what I'm saying? Grifting is when you guilt somebody into giving you money with the hopes of something in return. You know, you don't go to my e-commerce store and buy stuff and hope to God that you get something in return. No, you pick the shirt you want, you pay for it, we produce it, we ship it, we give it to you at your house in the mail. That's how it works. You're not promised something that you're not gonna get, and we give you what we told you we're gonna give you. That's pretty much it. It's not like running for office where they promise, and they don't deliver anything. They don't deliver anything. Let's see. I guess people are still talking about the young lady, which is what we. Somebody said they lost. Who is grifting? Well, I'm sorry that you lost. I think a lot of people are back to talking about the young girl, Sha'carri Richardson. It doesn't matter whether you agree with the restriction or not. You can't smoke marijuana and compete in the Olympics. She knew it. She's fessed up to it, said, I knew what I was doing. I take full responsibility. But people are afraid to take responsibility for her. Like, she's already taken responsibility, but you don't want to take responsibility for her. It's like, okay. Somebody said Donald was weak and played by the book. Apparently, Brandon Tatum is grifting. I have not used LinkedIn in so long. Let's see. They keep spamming me. I love the smell of this cigar. I can't do it. I'm in the house. I'm not gonna smoke in the house or smoke in my car. That's two things that I will not do. I can't smoke in the house and not smoke in the car. I can't have my house smell like smoke, and I don't want my car to smell like smoke. Lori, what about Lori Dirtyfoot? Well, Lori Dirtyfoot, these people are nuts. I mean, these people are nuts. Like most of our politicians, Republican and Democrat, are absolutely nuts. These people are not real. They're shells. They're shells of people. Republicans too. They're complete shells. They're not real people. They don't have a heart. They don't care about none of this stuff. They're narcissistic. All they care about is fame and for their own personal gain. These people don't care nothing about us. Doug Ducey really don't care. Man, these people, listen, man, the more I get into this political stuff, the more I realize that it's all a scam. I mean, a lot of it is a scam. Doug Ducey do not care about Arizona. That's just my opinion. He doesn't care about Arizona. These politicians, they set, man. They're not worried about you. They set. They set for life. They can move out of here. You didn't elected them as a governor. Man, they can be gone. They're going to take their retirement, they're going to take their money, and they can do whatever they want to do with it. You don't want to have to deal with the rest of what's going on in this state. They don't have to. They're rich. They're wealthy. They can move states when they done destroying this one. Doug Ducey don't care. I mean, I honestly believe he don't care. None of these people care. See, let me tell you something. Like, when I go to events and I do things, I really care about people. And I hug them, I talk to them, I shake hands, I take pictures. Like, I really care about people. And when you're a politician and you in a room of 35 people and you can't even stay to say hi to nobody, you can't care. You cannot care. Every time somebody see me, recognize me or whatever from the YouTube, or whatever they see me on TV, I am always nice and kind and generous to them. One, because I have manners. Two, because I really care about them. I'm really thankful that you support me. I think it's an incredible blessing that God has allowed me to have influence and I'm impacting somebody's life. I'm thankful for you. If you want to talk to me, we can chat. We can chop it up real quick. If you want to take a picture, let's take a picture. I'm honored. I'm in places where there are hundreds of people, and I say I'm gonna stay until everybody get what they want. If everybody want a picture, I'll stay till everybody get a picture. That's the way it is, unless the venue closed. But like some people just don't care. And I'm not saying if you don't stick around and you don't care automatically. But what I'm saying is that look at the totality of somebody's behavior. And then you could tell if they really care, they don't care. Like I really care about people. I really care about people. People be calling me on the phone, finding my number places. I talk to every single person that call me. I mean, I might be irritated, but I at least say, okay, what's up? How can I help you? You done got my number somewhere, which is disrespectful to just randomly call me for no reason. But since you got my number, how can I help you? What's up? Brandon, I really love what you do. Man, thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not telling people to do that because it's a headache sometimes. But some people care and some people don't, and I can see who care and I can see who don't care. Martha McSally was at an event. Kimberly Clasey's at the same event in Arizona, and these people are so much. I'm more popular than both of them. At the time, for sure, I was more popular than Kim and Martha McSally. And I went to that event and drove 40 minutes to go to the event. They didn't pay me nothing. I went there just to, they invited me there. I went there to make some calls, and I don't even know what else I was doing there. And then these celebrities, I'm way more popular than any of these people. These celebrities come and they show up and they do their little thing and then they gotta go. They got their escorts. They got their staff. This person has to make it to an airplane. No, they don't. They ain't gotta make it to no airplane. They just don't want to talk to you. You are a peasant to them. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to talk to you. They don't want to be around you. They don't care about you. They want you to give them money, and that's it. That's my opinion. I don't know what's in a person's head. I would never do that. Little event with 35 people. Let's chop it up real quick. Let's take these pictures. If I only got 15 minutes, I'm going to talk for 5 minutes, and then I'm going to try to mingle and say what's up to people and give them an opportunity, people who support me, to give them the opportunity to at least shake my hand and say what they want to say to me. One thing. You want to say something? Shake my hand. One thing you say to me. Go ahead and say it to me. I'm watching this. I'm sitting here watching this little bubbly commercial. The propaganda is real. Look at this. I used to like them. Look at this. It's little, so you can barely see it. So I'm just looking at this thing and I'm like, why is this girl look like a dude? I keep seeing it at the corner of my eye. And I'm looking at it and I'm like, I think these people are like transgenders and stuff. And that company, that's the way that company decides to, I can't. People going too far with this stuff, man. They going too far with it. But I don't care because I'm gonna be dead by the time it all crumbles apart. Hopefully I'm dead and gone. We are going so far out of crazy that it's not even funny. Like we are spitting in the face of God. Because we started this nation. The nation was started and founded on godly men and principles. The only reason that America is flourishing the way it is because we believe in God. But then we get success and you spit in God's face and say, well, we're going to do whatever we want to do. It's going too far, man. They pushing all this pride stuff. This is pride. To me, in my opinion, is sexual perversion. Majority of it. The people who are gay don't even care about this stuff. Pride is not. I think pride is not associated with gay people and trans or whatever you want to call it. Pride is an agenda. It's a propaganda agenda. It has nothing to do with being gay or not, or trans or none of that. It has nothing to do with that. I would argue that most trans people are living their life trying to just make it, trying to pass and not get beat up by somebody. And most gay people, nobody know you gay until you say something, or you out in public holding a hand with another man. And then 99% of people in America just don't care. And if they do care, they're going to care no matter what the law say. So it's pointless. Pride is not to celebrate those people, because Pride Month is not going to stop somebody from knocking you in the head because they don't like it because you gay. Pride is not going to help you not commit suicide, because pride is a propaganda, television propaganda. We support you. We support you. We support you. Well, do you support free counseling for people who are in the LGBTQ spectrum? Do you support free counseling? Do they get free counseling because of Pride Month? Are any of these companies sponsoring free whatever? No, they're not. It's propaganda. Hey, we support you. Come to our store and buy stuff. They don't support you. They don't really care. You ain't gonna never go to the CEO of Bubbly. You ain't never gonna see that person. They don't care nothing about. They ain't going to no pride parades or nothing. They're probably conservative capitalists. But it's all propaganda, man. All propaganda. All of it. Everything is propaganda. It's all propaganda. It's all sexual perversion that they're thrusting into our society and trying to perpetuate it to younger and younger and younger kids, to create a generation of confusion, because so they can control you. They understand very clearly that people's sexuality is a very vulnerable thing in a country without God, right? In a country without God, your sexuality is very vulnerable. That means you're susceptible to do anything that makes you horny. You will do anything. You will do anything with anybody, given the right circumstance. And the government people, the advertise, they know you'll do that. They don't want to help you. They want you to fall into that confusion. And at the end of the day, when you sad and you broken and you by yourself at your house ready to kill yourself, they're not going to be there to support you because they don't care. They got their little ad budget. They got their little dollar sign. They said that they support you. Whatever the case may be, they check their box. They put a black square out there. Check the advertising box. This will make us more popular amongst this community. This makes us look more acceptable, meaning we care. They don't care about you. They never did. If they cared about these young people, they wouldn't be thrusting you into this. They'd be trying to help you. They'd be coming up with research to help you manage some of these things, these chemical imbalances in your brain. But they don't care. They care less. And if they found a cure, they'll say that it don't work. And when I say a cure for things that go on in your mind that are unbalanced. I don't understand why it's so hard to believe that, like, if somebody was a man and somehow they're attracted to another man, something has gone wrong in your mind. Did that mean you're a bad person? No, it doesn't. But something went wrong in your mind. How do you say that, Mr. Tatum? Well, how do you think species of human beings have existed all these years? Because there is a natural attraction to the opposite person, which then creates a situation where you can multiply the human race over thousands of years. So if somehow you are born and your brain does not cognitively understand or seek reproduction, something has went wrong in your mind. If you are born and you are a man, but you feel like a woman on the inside, that's not normal. That's not like that. Yeah, that's normal. Humans are born this way. No, it's like something has gone on in your mind to where you have dysphoria. Just like when somebody's looking in the mirror and they're like, I'm fat, and they're 100 pounds. and they put their fingers in their mouth and throw up every day because they feel like they're fat. That's you will die at the end of that. So that's not a normal response from the human brain. Something is going on with you, and you need to get help with that. Now, if you don't want help with anorexia, if you don't want help with feeling like you're a man, if you don't want help with liking the same sex, then don't get help. But don't act like it ain't nothing wrong, that there ain't something that's misfiring. Because I'm telling you, man, nobody's gonna keep it real like Brandon Tatum. I don't know people that'll say what I'm saying. They want to say, no, it's not. You was born that way. Well, do you want kids one day? Do you want children one day? Then maybe you need to evaluate this, because this don't lead to you to have kids. This don't lead to you having good health, especially for men, because that's a one-way street. And you drive the wrong way down a one-way street, that's not good for a traffic jam, if you know what I'm talking about. And y'all need to stop acting like that don't exist. Stop acting like that's totally normal. Like two men together is just like two men and a woman. Like all that functionality works right. No, you can't do that. You're not supposed to do that. That's why you got so many problems. That's why you got to go get some stuff going on back there. That's why things go wrong there. That's how some of these diseases are perpetuated, because you weren't supposed to be doing that in the first place. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But people don't want to tell the truth. They don't want to help these people. I want to help people. Like I wish that there was something we could do. Like if somebody was born that way and they were all confused, then I mean, now they push you into it. You know, Lil Nas X, and they push you into it. But back then you could say, man, I really am curious. Why do you feel like that, young man? Have somebody explained to you the totality of what's going on here? Did somebody tell you that this may be a desire of yours, but that doesn't mean you have to adhere to it? You know, that don't mean you have to do it. Just because you like it, you want to, that don't mean you have to. Same thing with the young woman that want to go out for the first time and hang out with a guy and play video games, if you know what I'm saying. You may have a desire to go play video games with a guy when you are 16 years old because everybody else is playing video games. That don't mean you have to do it. You may have the desire. You may have the attraction. That don't mean you have to do it. I mean, it goes. I mean, I'm telling you guys, it is a mental manipulation of weakness in the mind that they're teaching society. That's why we have so many divorces. That's why people getting divorced so much, because people got desires in their mind, and they feel like, well, I feel this way, so there must be reality for me. No, it's not. No, it's not. You don't need that woman at your job that's throwing it at you. That don't mean you got to catch it. You turn your back to that person because you're married. That ain't nothing but the devil trying to trick you out of your position. That ain't got nothing to do with love. That ain't got nothing to do with I'm falling in love with somebody new. Me and my wife having problems. You're just weak. You making excuses. Just because you feel a certain way don't mean you have to do it. That goes for anything in life that you do. But they want to teach you in a slow death for you to be able to do whatever you want to do because it's your life, it's your feelings. No, that's not true. No, young man, you may be attracted to another young man, but you need to think this through. And just because you're attracted to him don't mean you have to go for it. Young man, you may be attracted to this little hot thing running track. That does not mean that is the appropriate thing for you to do. Just because you're attracted, just because you want to, just because other people are doing it, you will ruin your life. And you know, think about this for a minute. I want people to think about this. All of the people a part of the LGBTQ community that have committed suicide, which we know that the numbers is way higher than the average person. If you think about this for a minute, if you could go back and figure out why did they do it, each individual, why did this person do this? You will find that these people have gone into a lifestyle and found that there was a dead end and a black hole. And they never wanted to be a part of that. They wanted a way out of that. And you didn't give them a way out because you wanted to thrust them into Pride Month. They could have had a way out. You could have been there for them. But yet, you're too cowardice to tell them the truth because you don't want to judge them. You know, if I was encountering a young man who said he was gay, I'd say, no, don't do that. Don't do it. Don't do it. If you're looking for love, you can find love. If you're looking for somebody that's going to appreciate you, which are the things that matter the most, you can find that. There is a person there. It don't matter. It don't matter if you think that person, if you're so lustfully attracted to him that you'll drive 1,000 miles to see him. That doesn't matter. You want somebody that loves you, appreciates you, and that you can grow with. That has nothing to do with attraction, physically. Because when y'all get older, y'all both gonna be nasty. You ain't gonna be looking at when y'all 60, 70 years old, y'all ain't looking at each other like that no more. Even 50 something. You get in your 50s, you may be like, you know what? I'm to the point in time where we ain't 20 no more. But you gotta have more to offer and more in your relationship than having fun and playing video games. So if you're looking for love, if you're looking for that, you can find that. You can find that. And attraction is very surface level. And that's why a lot of people get messed up. They say, oh man, this person's so attractive, whether you straight or you gay. This person's so attractive, man. And they just turn your life apart. Life going straight down the drain. But they're attractive though, and they fine, and they look good, and they make you feel some type of way. But they have no substance to them. And you dying a slow death in that relationship. They go for anybody. But we don't teach our young people that because legs, booty, all this other stuff is most important. That's why women got fake faces, fake chests, back, fake leg. I mean, they got fake everything. Why? They don't, it's funny. They don't have a fake resume. They'll fake a face and a chest and a six pack in a minute. That's because the demand is there. The demand is there. The demand ain't to be an incredible personality, to have a great character. That ain't the demand is not to be a great person. The demand is to look a certain way. That's why you see it's a $1 billion industry of people looking a certain way, but they broke the pieces on the inside. They hurt, they broken. But they look good though. They look good. That's like a car with a new paint job. They got 400,000 miles on it. And nobody did an oil change in the last 2 years. You get in that thing, it look good. You drive by your homeboys and it's gonna break down the street. And it's gonna cost you more than it's worth. I see I'm speaking to somebody here, and y'all pass the offering plate around. These things are very important for people to understand and talk about. I wish that we could do this. I'm telling you, man, I feel like if I sat down with a person, an adult who was gay or whatever, it'll come down to nurture. It'll come down to this thing happened in my life at this point that made me feel like this. Or I started feeling like this at this point and I felt like I was always like this. Well, go to that point in time where you felt like this, and then you start to dig down and why? How you gonna know that you're a part of the alphabet community when you're 8 years old? How do you know that? When I was 8, I didn't know I like girls or not. What are you 8? You don't know. What do you mean you're attracted to another person when you're 8 years old? That mean that you have been exposed to sexualization way too soon. If you're 8 years old and you're thinking about women and stuff, or men, or whatever that is. So you have to say then, if you're thinking about it, then what have you been exposed to? I could say that I was thinking about stuff like that at a very young age because I was exposed to stuff at a very young age. That's why. It wasn't nothing else. If I was in a kid's place and I was nurtured as a kid and I was not exposed to adult behavior, whether it be late night, the little late night stuff that come on but after dark and all that stuff, if I wasn't exposed to that stuff, then I wouldn't have had an inkling to go down that path or at any point. But you're exposing these young people to this stuff at a young age when they're impressionable and they're like sponges, and then they pick a side, or they get abused and they pick a side, or they feel like they don't have connection, you know, because they don't have a daddy in their life, so they don't know how to be a man, and then they feel like they can't connect with women because they don't know how to be a man, and women don't like the way they act because they act like women because they around their mama and auntie all day. And then they say, well, I don't have luck there. I'm not really attracted to the way women treat me. I'm not attracted to the people I'm around all the time. I'm sitting in my mama and my auntie face every day. I'm not attracted to my auntie and my mama and auntie. I'm attracted to who they attracted to. I'm telling the truth. I wish there was somebody like B. Tatum when I was younger. I wish there was somebody like me when I was younger that was just on here just spitting facts after fact after fact after facts. Dirty movies, man. When I was young, I was watching them dirty movies. When I was younger than that, I think I probably was like 8 or something. You know, somebody said when she was 8, they wanted to be a whale. Oh, my 8-year-old cousin wanted to be a whale. When I was 8, me and my cousin used to sneak the tapes from up under back when they had VHS tape, we used to sneak the tapes from up under the bed. When my uncle and them used to leave, my cousin used to go in the bed, pull the tape out, the grown-up tapes, put it in the VCR. We just looking. Getting exposed to this stuff at a young age. Of course you're going to go down a path if you get exposed to stuff like that. When you 8 years old, you should be thinking about being superheroes and like doing great things. You shouldn't necessarily be even thinking about that, because a lot of times you haven't hit puberty at that point. So there ain't no functionality within what you're doing anyway. But they manipulate the kids. Somebody said I was watching horror movies at 5. They manipulate the brains of kids. I mean, young people back in the day, before all this technology and before all this stuff, they just weren't exposed to things like this. They weren't exposed to things like this. They were out there on the farm. They were working. They were doing all this stuff. They wasn't exposed to things like this. People were actually getting married and stuff. Like, so, you know, the behavior of between the two was after marriage. Now everybody think it's cool to do it before marriage, and it's not. One of my biggest regrets is that it's like the biggest regret that I have is like, why I wish that I wasn't living in a society like that. I honestly wish that I was raised a little different, to where I waited till I was married to do things like that. Because what a waste of time. What a waste of emotions. What a waste of life, years, stress. It's a waste of time. Quit lying to women, and mostly people lie to women, I think, and tell them, oh yeah, just go date as much as you want in your youth. It's like, no, be intentional. Don't be putting miles on the car for no reason. Don't just put miles on there for no reason, because that comes with a lot of brokenness. Brokenness. People are broken. People are all broke up. By the time they get married, or by the time they find somebody that really match with them, they all broke up. They got drama from exes cheating on them, and you know what I'm saying? Listen, man, I tell you what, God has blessed me to overcome a lot of stuff, but what a bad decision. What one of the dumbest decisions that I made is to not wait until I was married. The dumbest decision I made in my life. What a bunch of stuff in your mind that should never be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, people aren't supposed to be getting hurt all the time. People aren't supposed to be going through breakups and divorces, and I mean, not divorces, but breakups and people cheating on you, and like, it's not normal. You're not supposed to give your heart away like that and just for people to step on it without no commitment. But nowadays, my boyfriend told me that, well, no, hey, y'all plan on getting married? Y'all been together 5 years. You not married? Okay. Then what are y'all doing? What are you doing? You're both afraid of commitment. Then why y'all even each other's life if you're afraid to commit to each other? That's all I'm saying. Like, you should be intentional. A young man, when you decide to be with a woman, you should be with her and you should commit to marrying that person. You shouldn't be, y'all should not be doing anything other than having a conversation about, hey, what are the things that you like? What are the things that I like? Where you see yourself in 5 years? What do you want out of life? That's what you call, that's dating. Dating is not hanging out and going to the mall and going out to eat and having fun and trying to see where it goes. Dating is saying, who are you? What are the things? Let me do the preliminary research. You definitely ain't the one I want to be with. You voted for Joe Biden. I no. I definitely don't want to be with you. You're not even a Christian. You don't find that out, or at least you don't believe in Christ. That Christian word is, I mean, everybody say they're Christian. I have no idea. 95% of people that say they're Christian are probably not even Christians. I say 90%, not 95. They probably don't even know what that means. They have no idea what's going on. Anyway, don't believe me. Just look at the Bible. Broad, what do they say? Broad is the way, narrow is the path. Or broad is the path, narrow is the way. Narrow. Only a few are going to make it. That's what the Bible say. That's not me. So that would lead me to the conclusion to say that everybody that say they're Christian can't be Christians, because the Bible says only a few going to make it in. Anyway, I know we don't like to hear that. Somebody say, can't be serious though, got to enjoy one another. You know, that's y'all thinking that, man. I'm not saying you got to be, you don't have to be a turd, but you need to be making sure, like, oh, do I really like you? Do I really know what I want? And then if I say, well, I don't know what I want, then don't be getting a relationship with somebody you don't even know what you want. I think men, to be honest, I think men should honestly wait till they're about 30. They should wait till they're about 30 to make a decision. I mean, it's probably difficult because women waiting to 30 is different than men waiting to 30. But I feel like a lot of men aren't in a position to be married to anybody. They're not in a position to be married. They kind of they figuring it out as they go. And a lot of times that lead in divorce. You know what I'm saying? I was part of the LGBTQ community for over 15 years. My family traumatized me into believing I was gay as a kid. See? Nobody want to talk about that. It was years reckless behavior, loneliness, and depression. No joy. Total black hole. Come on. There you go. Now, let me explain this to you guys. I've never been in the LGBTQ community. I know some people, but I haven't been in the community because I don't know what that is. I don't know what it's like to be gay. I don't know what it's like to be like that in America. But I honestly feel like that God has given me insight on some of these things. I don't know that I've never been down the black hole. I've never been, but I just can feel the hurt in a lot of people that are in this lifestyle. They in front of you, they act like it's all good. But when they go home, it's not okay. You can talk to anybody and they'll tell you that they're struggling. It's a struggle. It's a struggle in a lot of different ways. And it's like anything, man. Like I know a lot of times people get in their feelings when you say gay, but if you talk about other stuff too, all these people on Instagram in these fake happy relationships. Or single. Some of these people out here, I'm single, I'm having a good time, I'm partying every night, and they go home and cry themselves to sleep. Because they really want to be married. They're not having fun single. It's not fun for them. It's loneliness and regret and all these other things because they've been playing their whole life, and now they in their late 40s and they at parties every night, acting like they really happy single. I'm telling you. And then you got these people, two women being together and then they in their 40s and they have no offspring. And they see all the other family members having kids and they go, well, I'm just accepting that this is the way my life's supposed to be. No. You're supposed to have children. You're supposed to be able to at least attempt, and you should raise those children. You should be fruitful and multiply. Birth and children are some of the most beautiful things you can do. And people trick you into missing out on that stuff. Whether you gay or straight, they trick you into missing out on it. I'm independent. I don't need no man. Okay. As you sit on Instagram all day long, scrolling through happily married people, and in your mind you hating like a mug. But I don't need no man. I'm independent. I don't need no man to take care of me. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You do need you just don't need Tyrone, but you need a good man to take care of you. Quit going to Tyrone and acting like Tyrone is the one. No, it's not. Weak, feckless men shouldn't even be in your vocabulary. Yeah, you don't need one of those men. You know, some women say, you know, I'm the breadwinner. Well, no, you just haven't dated a man that make more money than you. You probably need a man that makes more money than you. And you have to be a pleasurable person to be around. And I know a lot of people saying they happy and blessed and crying over a tub of ice cream every night. 100%. Like, people listen, I've been there to a certain degree, you know, not lying to myself, but I've been there to a certain degree where I'm feeling super down, super single and feeling real bad about it. But I got to like put some stuff out there to make myself feel better. But in reality, it's like, nah, this is not cool. I knew from a very young age that being single was not cool. It wasn't cool. The happiest I've been in my entire life has been since I've been married. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get up off here because I've been on here too long. I have never been happier outside of being married. Like, the level of peace, love, partnership, friendship, all of those things is what you get when you marry. Like, for men, you don't have to be on the prowl all day. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to go through rejection and trying to find somebody reasonable and gold diggers, and you don't have to do none of that. You be married, you're happy. I go out, travel the world, and I'm peace. I have peace because I know I'm married. I got a wife at home. I'm married. I ain't worried about nothing but my business. I'm not worried about nothing but taking care of my business. And that's why my business is flourishing, because I'm not wasting my time dating people. You know, dating, I'm talking about dating, meaning that you're spending your time with people in a meaningful way that you're not committed to. And then you date them for a couple months and then you break up. You date them and you break up. And break up ain't easy. You got to go through the whole process. You're just wasting your time. I almost feel like young men should be pursuing their career, building wealth, building your credit, building your reputation. And then when you're at a peak level of performance, then you need to start evaluating a wife. If you ain't where you want to be, you ain't going to be able to marry no woman. Because what's going to happen is that you're going to marry her, and then you're going to go to where you want to be, and then you're not going to want her no more. So that's what, or, you know what I'm saying? She used to you being like this, you go and be somebody different, she ain't going to want you no more. So I think there's a peak, or at least on the rise up or whatever. Like you either on the upward trajectory or you at your peak performance when a man should be seeking a wife to be married to. That's my opinion. Because then you're ready to be married. You're stable. Like I would tell a man, if your credit score is like 500, you shouldn't think about dating anybody. You shouldn't think about dating or marrying anybody. You need to get your credit score up. Unless you got $1 billion in the bank, but you need to get your credit score up, okay? If you don't understand anything about investing, if you don't understand anything about money, you don't understand if you don't have a plan in place of what you're going to do to build wealth, then you shouldn't be marrying nobody. You can't lead a family and you don't know what you're doing. You know, people may think that I'm, off on this, but I control the money in my family. I control the money in my family. And because I'm the leader of the family, I'm the leader. I got to go out and make this money. And I control the money. And it's not that my wife is sitting around begging me for money. My wife has a credit card that she can use it till it max out. But, however, we have agreed that I will manage the money. Why? Because I am making the money. She has to be able to trust and rely that I'm making good decisions with the money, investing properly, setting us up for the future. Those are things that men should be responsible for doing. That's my honest opinion. My wife don't have to do nothing. She shouldn't have to do nothing, but be a good mother and be nice to me. I mean, that's all I ask you to do. Be a good wife, be a good mother. That's all you should do. I got to do all the heavy lifting. I got to deal with people that I don't want to deal with sometimes. I got to be stressed out half of the time. I think that that's the way it should be. Like, the stress should be on me. It shouldn't be on my wife. It should be on me. I should be stressing. I should be trying to make it happen. I should be building wealth and generational success. I should be the one providing. My wife shouldn't have to be going out and getting a job. She shouldn't have to. For me, that's me. Everybody else can have their own situation. We live in America. If you a man and you want to be a stay-at-home dad, if that's your family, do you. I'm just giving my honest opinion. Do you, boo? But the way I look at it is that the man is the leader of the household. That doesn't necessarily always mean financially, but however, decision making and things should be with the man, your husband. You should trust him to make these decisions. He should be mature enough to make these decisions. That's the goal. Why do most people get divorced? Money, finances. Most people get divorced because of finances. Why is that, Brandon? Because they have not had an agreement on who is in taking what position in the financial arena. This person is one up in this person, is one up in this person. They arguing all the time. Well, I'm the breadwinner. Well, I'm not the breadwinner. I manage the money with it. I got separate bank accounts. Anyway, have a great 4th of July with your family, Tatum. We love you. I live in California, and that shirt of yours speaks to me. Yeah, this is Anthony Cimino running for governor. Y'all need to liberate California. That's the way we should be thinking. It's not to put another politician in there. It's to liberate California. Let's see. Being married only works when God is in the center of it. Agreed. He created it as a covenant between you and your spouse, man and woman. Amen. Somebody cue up the claps. Okay, let's see. Christy said, I'm a widow and I miss being married. I choose not to online date because of the games men play. True. People have to remember that God does not send you someone else's spouse. There is one for you. Agreed. Yet people are consistently marrying, dating somebody else's spouse. And they wonder why it don't work out. Yeah, because that's not your wife. That never was supposed to be your wife. You the one to make that decision, not God. You the one dated that woman. That ain't your wife. That's why y'all ain't working out. I'm a single mother raising my son myself. I wasn't a choice per se. It was the cards dealt to me. I chose not to date because I wasn't going to do that to my son. Uh-oh. I'm not going to beat you up too much. Let me see. To clarify my position, I could see dragging my son through an emotional roller coaster while I try to find a perfect fit. Well, let me speak to that real quick. Here's what I will say. I would obviously need to see more context, because single mother raising your son yourself, I would need a little clarification on that. Are you raising your son yourself primarily and daddy gets the weekends in the summer? Or are you raising the son primarily yourself, daddy is not around but he's still alive? Or you raising a kid by yourself and daddy's not around? Were you married before that? Those are the keys. Let me tell you let me tell you why, in my opinion, how you are 100% responsible to a certain degree. This is where you're 100% responsible for being a single mom. This is where you would be 100% responsible, right? And so is he. Y'all don't get a chance to play a 50-50 or nothing like that. Y'all both are 100% responsible for what happened to you. If you weren't married when you had a kid, you're 100% responsible for the situation you're in. If you were not married, if you were married, anything other than abuse, abuse, it don't matter if you're happy or not. That's y'all can work that out. But abuse, if it wasn't abuse and you left, if you weren't married and you don't like him, so you moved out of state, or you weren't married and you don't want him to be involved, those are ways that you would be 100% responsible. Now, that may not be your scenario. Another way that you're not responsible is if he died, if he divorced you, or if, it means to go down the path of saying if he beat you, like, then hey, I don't blame you. You got to do what you got to do. However, it is incredibly important for that young man to have a father figure in his life. And I don't think women should not date when they have children. Just be intentional. Don't take no bull crap. Don't sit around and try to see where it goes. Ask a man, are you willing to do this? Are you willing to do this? Look at the man's resume. I'm not dating you. I ain't got time to be playing. I got time to fall in love. Are you the fit for this situation moving forward? Yes or no? Okay, no. Okay, I'm moving on. I don't need to go on a date. You don't need to buy me nothing. You don't need to do nothing. You ain't finna get nothing. But see, not you, because you perfect, young lady. But a lot of people become very disingenuous in this arena. A lot of people become very disingenuous in this arena because, I just saying, like, people will be single moms and they say, well, I don't really want to put my son in that situation, but you still out there hanging out. You just ain't bringing them home, but you hanging out. And that is no bueno. It don't matter if you bring the guy home. You still out there cutting up, and you cutting up like your son don't know you cutting up. And then you cutting up and you have another kid. Now you really put him in a bad position. And I don't think women should just bring random men around their kids. But at the same time, you shouldn't even be talking to a man that you don't respect to be around your kids. You shouldn't even be talking to him. You shouldn't even be talking to a man that you don't respect enough to be around your kids. You don't even date somebody like that. That's like when I used to date women and my son used to come with me for the summer, and I'll be in a relationship with a woman. I didn't not bring a girl around my son because you're a respectable woman in general. Now, of course, I'm not doing no weird stuff in front of my son, but I wasn't shy on having women around my son because they were great women. They were good people. They weren't where I felt like if my son was exposed to this person, my son would be all, no, it's great people that literally, he would enjoy being around. And every woman that I've ever brought around my son was an incredible person that he was exposed to. I didn't date women that I thought wasn't exceptional. If your man is incapable of being head of the household, he's not a man. I completely trust in my husband and our finances. Guess I found a real man. Being submissive can be hard at times, but good men make it easier. 100%. I mean, teach that to young women, please. The submissive thing is very hard for people to understand. I don't want to be submissive. Like, my wife is submissive, but I'm not sitting here acting like my wife is some slave or something. My wife have her own opinions. My wife can disagree with me. But at the end of the day, my wife trusts that I'm making the right decisions on these very crucial things. And I respect my wife enough that sometimes she tell me stuff and I'm like, okay, you're right. I'm gonna change my position on this because you're right. You're right. I shouldn't buy that, or I shouldn't invest in that, or I shouldn't get that office building. I was looking at an office building right now, and my wife gave me some crucial advice. She's like, no, I don't think you need that. You need a flex property, Brandon. I don't think you need that because you're gonna need a warehouse and all this stuff. And it's like, okay. But at the end of the day, I have to make the decision. My wife is saying, this is what I think you should do, Brandon. At the end of the day, you're gonna make the decision. My wife don't sit there and argue with me about this, but I trust my wife. I love her. That's why I married her. And I'm like, yeah, baby, you're right. You're right. I mean, you can be more correct. You kind of help me balance out my strong compulsion. You know what I'm saying? Because I do get compulsive sometimes. I want it all. But anyway, let's see. Never married. Father was too unstable due to drugs. Wait. Let me read the rest of this, but receive help from my son's paternal grandparents. They own a string. They own a string of daycare. He did have a strong male role model. Absent 17 years. Abstinent 17 years. Well, you said never married. Father was too unstable due to drugs. Yet you played video games with him. This is where I feel like that you got to make the best of it now. There's no looking back. You know, you and God have a relationship with that, but I'm telling you, like, that's your fault. Why are you messing with a man that first of all, you shouldn't be playing video games with a man you're not married to. The reason why is because if the man is too unstable to marry him, he's too unstable for you to play video games with. He's too unstable. Too unstable. And those are things you need to figure out before you make a commitment. If you never felt like you wanted to make that commitment, or he never was strong enough to make the commitment, you shouldn't have played video games. And now you may understand this, but I'm saying this for other people. There's no excuse. There's no excuse. You can't just point the finger in one direction and say, the reason I'm this way because of him. It's like, no. The reason you this way is because you decided to be with him and he was an idiot or he was on drugs or whatever. You decided to be with him, which put your child in a peculiar situation. That's just what it is. I decided to be with my son's mom, who I was not married to, and we put him in a situation. You know, of course, I think she the problem and she think I'm the problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's because of her that we're not together, and she think it's because of me or whatever. It doesn't matter. It ain't her fault. Even if she go off on a limb and be crazy and I become a single father, which I don't anticipate that happening, but if it does, it ain't her fault. It's my fault. My fault. I shouldn't have never played video games with her if I wasn't married to her. And if I didn't love her enough to marry her, I should have never been with her. My fault. Now, thank you for the super chat because I think it's an interesting conversation. But you got help, which is a good thing. And you said he did have a strong male role models. He had strong male role models in his life. Okay, that could be the case. There's no male role model that's stronger than a child's father. Now, basketball coaches, uncles, they can be really good. If that's all you got, that's not going to hurt them. However, I really hope that people, and not you, because I don't think you're doing this, I really hope that people wouldn't think that they can replace a stepdad or something. If the father is a great man, you just don't like him no more. That's pretty much what that comes down to. Because I know people that just don't like their baby daddy. They ain't got nothing to do with them being a good man. And they rather go on with their life because they don't want nothing to do with them because they don't like them. So they want their kid not to like them. And that's not a good thing to do. That's not what you're doing. I'm not saying you're doing that. But people got to take responsibility for their actions. Never married, that's your fault. It's your fault. And it's his fault. It's both of y'all fault. But kudos to you for not giving up and leaving the kid out to dry. Angel, because abortion is over 98%, because the women are not ready, our career. Let's see. Let me read this again. Let's see. Angela, because abortion is over 98%, because the women are not ready, or career. Eliminating premarital. Let's see. Eliminating premarital also eliminate likelihood for women feeling they need that anyway. That's a very difficult sentence, but I think I know what you're talking about. You know, here's the thing. I'm going to say this and I'm going to be done. 15 minutes is max that I'm going to go. The whole abortion thing is not just wrong because it's literally murdering a kid. It's wrong because it teaches women a very negative habit, and it relieves men of true responsibility. If a man can just do something, play video games, and then never come back with the expectation that the woman can just go down the street, that relieves men of their responsibility. So therefore, they're more reckless. And then if women can just say, well, I'm not ready right now, I'm just going to go down the street, then it teaches you to be negligent because you don't make good decisions on the front end. You try to recover it on the back end. And there's some things that you can do that you can't go to the clinic and fix. Okay, I'm just saying that. This abortion is bigger than just murder. It's also teaching people incredibly poor habits. And they're destroying their lives every day. And to me, it gives women too much power. It gives women too much power over the birth experience. It should be a mutual situation. A woman and man, a woman should not be able to just go to the hospital and say, you know what, I don't feel this right now, I'm just going to do it. How does that make any sense when the man have no choice in that? And the man have no choice whether he's not going to pay or not. And that's where the problem lies to me, is that if a woman is going to be able to make unilateral decisions like that, then she should have unilateral responsibility of taking care of that kid. The dad should have no responsibility. None. That means if you just get pregnant by some dude, then he has no right to take care of that kid. He don't have to take care of it at all. He can just leave you because you don't have a right to give birth to it either. And then you can make an excuse and say you're not ready. But what if he's not ready? Well, he better pay that child support. You're gonna go to jail. So that's where I have the problem with these abortion things. It's like, no, it's two to tango. And you know, if y'all even gonna have abortions, both parents should consent. Both parents should say yes. If both parents can't agree, they cannot perform it. If the daddy say no, you say yes, they can't do anything with it. If both of y'all say yes, then maybe they can make a decision. That's how it should be. And maybe women will stop messing with these dudes. If they don't love them, they don't want to be with them. But for a woman to be able to say, I'd rather have a career than do this right now. Maybe one day you'll have your son and they go in there and boom, it's done. It's over. You have no choice. But maybe one day they'll say, well, today I want to have your son. And the man is like, you're going to ruin my career. Well, that's your fault. You know what I'm saying? That should not be so. Okay. The young lady said, Brandon, it was 25 years ago. Dad had a good job when we met. I need not know about the drug until later. Yes, I played, but I have no regrets. I love my son. I took responsibility protecting him. Here's another thing. This is, and I'm really not trying to beat you up, but you the one put the super chat out there, so I got to talk about it. Here's another thing. You said it was 25 years ago. Dad had a good job when we met. I did not know about the drug until later. Now, my opinion, I find that very incredibly hard to believe unless you guys you didn't know each other. I mean, you should know that somebody's using drugs. I mean, especially if they don't use drugs and then they use drugs, unless they've been using drugs the entire time you've known them and you have not done your due diligence to figure out that they've been using drugs. And the second part is that, you know, yes, I played, but I have no regrets. You have no regrets. But how does your child feel? This is the problem with people. They looking at themselves and they go, well, yeah, I did this, but I have no regrets. Well, yeah, you have no regrets. But how do your son feel about his own dad? How's he going to feel 10 years from now? How's he going to feel about that? The situation that y'all put him in, he probably have regrets. You don't. He does. He may not. But I hear people say that all the time. They say, well, I don't have no regret. I don't have no regrets. Everything happened for. But your kid, how do they feel when they go to school and they don't have their daddy not there? Their dad is not there. Their dad don't. They have these conflicts in their mind. Do my dad really love me or not? Why is my dad not around? Like, what did I do wrong? Why is my dad such a loser? I'm telling you, you may not have regrets, which is fine, but how does your son feel? And it's the same thing with my parents. Like, my parents weren't together. I'm glad they weren't together because I feel like they didn't get along. However, when I was growing up, I didn't feel that way. I wanted them to be together. I used to often think, why weren't they together? Why did they do us like this? Why can't I see my mom and my daddy in the same house? Now, of course, they felt like I don't know how they felt, but I didn't think it was a good idea. I was upset with them. Even to this day, I wish I had my parents in the same household. Although I love my stepmama or whatever the case may be, but at the end of the day, when I was growing up, I wish I had both of my parents. I wish I didn't have to go through none of that stuff. I wish I didn't have to go through, I got to stay with my mama. I got to stay with my daddy. I got to go here to see my daddy. And then my daddy's married somebody else. Like, kids should not have to go through that. And I put my son through that. And there's I regret it. I regret it. There ain't no, I don't regret. I regret it. My son should never have to go through what he's going through. Even though I'm giving him the best opportunity that he could have, he should have never had to go through this. Never. Of course I regret it. It was one of the worst decisions I ever made in my life. However, all I got from now on is to make the best of it. But I would, if somebody say, would I do it all over again? No, I wouldn't. I would not have done this all over again. I would do it differently, because no matter what I feel or how I feel, like, oh my God, things are working out. I'm married again. Like, everything is going good. No, my son, everything going good for him. His mom and his daddy ain't together, and we don't even live in the same state. No, it's not okay. No, it's not okay. No, I do not regret that. That was a mistake. It was a horrible mistake that I have to live with for the rest of my life. And I think that people, you don't have to feel regret to regret something. Like, it's not necessarily a residual feeling of, I'm just, but there is a thing that said, no, that was wrong. There ain't nothing good came out of that. When I say nothing good, meaning that there was a better way, and I chose not to have a better way. And now we got to live with not having a better way. Now, God can make it right, but it was wrong, man. That was wrong. He deserved better than that. My son deserves to have both of his parents in the same household with love and consistency and all of these things. I did not give him that. I'm wrong. So, nothing against you. People got to do what they got to do. You got to make the best of the situation. But, I often find it that, and I'm not saying this is you, because I don't really know you. I have to sit down and talk to you for it to be you. I had to discuss this with you at another time. But however, people get very confused on responsibilities. It's nothing is just cut and dry. And it seems like every time I hear of a single parent situation, it always appears that the dad is always the bad person. And in your case, the dad probably is the bad person. But in a lot of cases, this is just women saying that. Like, let me take that back. When I'm going to take that back, I will take back what I was about to say. I didn't say it yet. I know a lot of men who are good men, and the women take them through hell. And if you ask the women, why is this what they blame the man. when the man is not the problem. One of my best friends, women just since they not with you, not all the time, but they not with you, they hate you, and nothing you do is good, and they want to move on without you being alive. They want you to be dead, and they can move on with their life because you didn't want to be with them, or they didn't want to be with you, and they make up these scenarios of men being these bad dads. Oh, he's a deadbeat dad. Let me say this: every woman that say the dad is a problem, I hear you, but I don't believe you, and I hear the other person, but I don't believe that person either. I need to evaluate both sides before I make a determination of my opinion about it. I don't believe it on face value. Like, people always say, "Oh, the dad was an alcoholic. The dad was on drugs. He never could be." It's like, well, wait a minute. How did this? Did you have any part in him being a drug addict? Or were you an enabler in this situation, or were you not? Not yours. I'm just speaking in general. Those are the things that, I guarantee you. I'm gonna make a guarantee. I guarantee you, my child's mom probably. I don't know. Do you think she's telling people, "Nah, his dad is a great man, and I messed up"? You know what I'm saying? His dad's the greatest man I ever dated. He's a great man, an honorable man, a consistent man, a very hardworking guy. He was, always good to me. She ain't finna say that. She not finna say that. She gonna tell the next man that I was bad, and that's why I don't live in the same state. Although, she the one moved, not me. But she may say great things about me. I don't know. But you think that's what? No, more than likely, it's. Oh, he's abusive or something, and of course not. I've never been abusive, but people say that he was abusive, or he was just this or that, and they make up stuff about the daddy. And and a lot of these women know that daddy did nothing wrong. Y'all just didn't work out, or you were young and you thought you could do better. You wanted to play, you didn't want to be serious, and then now you want to be serious, and now the man gone. But nobody gonna say that. In all honesty, they're not going to say that. They're going to say the guy was a bad guy, whatever. And I noticed that a lot. Like, I've dated women. They say, okay, they're a single mom. Okay, what happened with daddy? Oh, he a deadbeat. He got 3 kids by 3 different women. You're like, so he already had 2 kids when you messed with him. But now, he don't want nothing to do with. He don't want nothing to do with my child, whatever. He don't even pay child support, and so this young lady moved out of state. She moved to a whole nother state, and he don't want nothing to do with her now because we moved. It's like, and then it come to find out the dude was paying child support. Now of course he broke. He got 3 kids. He ain't got no money, and he was paying child support. He just wasn't paying enough. Because she thinks somehow he's supposed to not pay for the other 2 kids and just pay off for her kid. It's like, you find out slowly but surely, you're like, maybe you're the problem. Maybe you are the problem. You can't just have a baby with a guy and it's my baby and I'm going to make all the right decisions for him. I'm going to leave. I need the opportunities. I'm going to move here. I'm going to move here. I'm going to leave here. And you're mad at him because he don't do what you want him to do. But you knew he had 2 other kids by 2 different women or whatever, before you made him. Okay. So he's the bad guy, but you have no responsibility in that. That's another situation that one of my friends is in is just crazy. It's crazy. The woman is married. She made so much turmoil between him and his kids, but she'll sleep with him. While she's married, she'll cheat with him. But then when it ain't going her way, she want to say, "Oh, you can't see the kids." Now, both of them are guilty to a certain degree in some of this, but by and large, it's like, no, you just as much of a problem. You can't say he the problem. You a problem. You the one that's the problem. Anyway, Laura said, dang, hope I can get that super chat. I hope it's up here. Oh, it is. Good. If you want to talk about it further, I would be open for a discussion. Brandon, too many details for the forum. I agree. It's hard to explain that on the super chat. Authentically Kennedy, number one thing 99% of Americans lack is personal responsibility for all the decisions that they make. No blaming anything on anyone else. My father instilled that in me. It really shaped who I am. 100%. Let me say this and I'm done. I said I was going to be done a minute ago. It's just like football, man. For the longest time, my coaches sucked. You know, Coach Stoops and them sucked. They were sucky coaches. I don't even know how they ever got a job anywhere else in college football. It's just the same thing with politicians. If you got a name and you know somebody that knows somebody, you can get a position and you could be successful. However, you suck as a person and you suck as a coach. My coaches, at least the two coaches, they sucked. They were whack. We lost dang near every game. They sucked. However, I had a tremendous responsibility while they were sucking, and the reason why I didn't play much. And it's because I had a terrible attitude. I was not mature enough to handle sucky coaches. I wasn't. If I was, I would have been successful even in spite of them being sucky coaches. But, you know, that was me. That was my fault. You know, I wish that I was more mature when I came into college. You know, I wish that I went to another college, to be honest, but it was my fault that I didn't play in the NFL. It was my fault. You know, they had a lot to do with it, but ultimately it was my fault. It was my lack of competitiveness. It was my allowing them to get in my head and get out the game and be wanting to fight them and, you know, showing up late to weights. And, like, it was my fault. That was my fault. I'm not blaming anybody for it. Every decision that happened in my life was all my fault. I can't think of nothing that happened that wasn't my fault. Whether I was mature or not, ain't nobody else's fault but mine. You live and you learn. You know, having a kid out of wedlock was 100% my fault. I knew what I was doing when I was doing it. And there ain't no excuses. Had a kid out of wedlock. I tried to make it work. It didn't work. I tried to make it work several years after my son was born. It never worked. But the reason I'm in this situation is my fault. The reason why I was paying child support and, you know, I was barely making it, boy. That police salary had your boy in a headlock. I used to have to work overtime just to make ends meet for the most part and live a normal, functional life. But whose fault was that? It ain't her fault. It's my fault. Anyway, Carl, thank you so much for the super chat. Women love accountability like a snail loves salt. Now, I'm not picking on the young lady because I don't know her situation. I'm just getting a prelim. But I do think that there's a problem with a lot of, you know, I'm not going to say this because I think people would consider me to be biased, and maybe I am biased to a certain degree, but I think a lot of times society let women get away with stuff that's not, that men couldn't get away with. Like, men couldn't get away with it. But that's just what it is, you know. And I think that it's just like the sexual assault claims. 90% of sexual assault claims that I believe that are reported are not real. They're not. It's disingenuous. Claims that are reported, I think about 10% of those claims are legit stuff that's going on. But I also think 90% of these situations that are real are not reported. And the 10% that are not real are reported, which make up 90% of the reports. That's my opinion on it. Why do you say that, Mr. Tatum? But being a police officer for X amount of years, knowing people that were police officers for 20 plus years, it was you hardly ever hear somebody being honest about the stuff. Every time you take a call, I was raped. Okay, what happened? Well, I don't remember. I just woke up like this. Well, wait a minute. How do you know that you didn't give consent? How do you know? You don't even remember what happened. I have met people that say they blacked out, and they were, when I was dealing with them, they were functioning people. They were talking and doing all kinds of stuff. And then you talk the next day, you say, I was blacked out. I don't remember what I did from this point to this point. I'm like, I was having a full conversation with you. You were completely cognizant. You were talking to other people and having fun and dancing and doing all kind of stuff. And you just completely you say you blacked out, you don't remember this part. Well, just because you don't remember this part don't mean you wasn't involved in doing something with somebody. You just don't remember. That doesn't necessarily mean somebody took advantage of you. Maybe they blacked out. You don't know. You don't even know what happened. You just, and You claim you forgot. And in many cases, it's regret. It's not that I forgot, it's regret. But they say they forgot because they want to file a police report because now their friend walked in on them or found out that they got to get a pregnancy test and they got to do a Plan B pill and they don't want their parents to find out. It's a bunch of stuff. I mean, we had one young lady, the boyfriend caught her. She's yelling that the other guy she's with, playing video games with, is forcing her to play video games. And so the boyfriend flips out. He gets a knife. He goes to stab the guy. The guy puts his hand up, get his finger cut off. We get to the scene after investigation. We realize that, oh, no. She just made that up because she got caught. And actually, she was playing video games voluntarily. But then she didn't want her boyfriend to know she was playing video games with his roommate. So, I mean, on my whole career, I had 3. I think they were legit. The rest of them were, my mama found out, my boyfriend found out, I think I'm pregnant. I need to get the free Plan B and a test, STD and pregnancy test for free. I don't remember what happened. Or, you know, or people just flat out just made up a whole story about it. One girl made a story about a fake scenario that never happened. And then once we researched, these 2 people she talked about didn't exist. You know, there was multiple witnesses that were there at the scene where she said it happened. They all said, no, that didn't happen. I mean, we don't even know what she's talking about. So a lot of people make this stuff up, man. But a lot of people that it happened to, they don't say nothing, which is a problem. But piggybacking on that, you talk about flaws in relationships, you would never hear a woman say, the relationship ended because I'm a bad person. I have never heard anybody say that. One person that admitted that she cheated on her husband. That's why she wasn't married anymore. I have never in my life heard of any other woman make a decision to say, you know what, I wasn't ready, or I was bad, or I was abusive, or I was mean. And I have never heard of a single woman that their last relationship had anything to do with them. It's only the man was a dog or whatever. The woman had no involvement. And most of my relationships that I was in with women that didn't work out, it was a mutual thing where it's like, well, I'm just not interested. Like, we've dated, we've had time to see each other. I'm just not interested in moving forward with you. I don't think it's been any trauma or nothing. But, you know, leave it to one of them. They may tell the next man, oh, he was abusive or something. He was abusive, you know, when in reality it was like, hey, I don't think it's going anywhere. You may think it's going anywhere. I don't think it's going anywhere. And I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want to play games with you. I don't want to, it's not going anywhere. We've been dating for X amount of time. We don't get along the way I think we should get along in a marriage situation. I don't see something going forward. I don't want to play games with you. I'm not finna play. I'm not finna have you hurt your feelings. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm telling you now, this is where I stand, and this is the decision that I'm gonna make, because I don't want to drag you in. You can go meet somebody else. You can go date somebody else. You know, this ain't working for me. And before getting your feelings and get you hurt and none of that stuff, I'm just gonna tell you the truth. That I rather hurt your feelings with the truth than to be cheating and stuff. But anyway, Tatum, when I was 16 with a baby and my husband now was 19, we had to meet with the prosecuting attorney, and I made his child support $100. I made his child support $107 a month because he was a full-time student in college. Those other ones are just weak gold diggers. Y'all getting deep with these conversations. Yeah, man. Let me tell you something. The child support is a whole nother thing too. Abortions and child support is some of the most unreasonable things barbaric things that we do in our society. It's the most barbaric. Like, child support is so one way. And I don't have terrible experiences with it, but I think some people have some horrible experiences with it. It's so one way. It's like, oh, no, we don't care how much money you make. We don't care how much bills you have. You're going to pay X. And you're like, wait a minute. How is it that I have to pay X, but the other person don't have to have any accountability for what they spend. I'm telling you that they don't have to spend any money, but yet I have to pay for stuff that they don't have to spend. They go right in their pocket. They actually go vacation with the money. How do you verify that? Like, there's a reasonableness, right? Child support in a particular states, your kid can be 5. And if you make X amount of dollars, that 5-year-old makes this money. If you make more than that, the 5-year-old somehow needs more money. Just because you make more money, not because the child needs it. It's not like because you make more money, the clothes become more expensive. You make more money, they eat filet mignon now. I'm telling you, like it's so unreasonable in my opinion. And then if you become uber successful, you can forget about it, man. You can forget about it. They're gonna make you. Some states don't even have a cap. Like you'll be paying like $15,000 a month. You're like, wait a minute. How does a child need? How does an 8-year-old need $15,000 a month? You gotta be reasonable to say that is not going to a child. If I was a woman and I dated a guy who's a millionaire and I said, "Oh, I'm gonna put you on child support because I don't want to be with you no more," not because you don't want to be me. I just don't want to be with you no more. I'm gonna put you on child support. You got to pay $15,000 a month. You like, that's a job for 18 years. Somebody pay you $15,000 a month. You can stay in a penthouse somewhere. And you don't even have to work. You just stay at home and just collect money like a government check. How is that possible? I think it should be. I think no matter how much money you make, a 5-year-old in this environment, in this jurisdiction needs X amount of dollars, no matter how much you make. And if you can't afford to pay that, then maybe the government can help you with it. Maybe the government can help mama meet that middle ground. But if you make a whole bunch of money, the kid only needs X. And the situation should be, well, if parent A can't take care of a kid with X, then parent B maybe need to take care of the kid. Maybe that should be the way it should work. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, parent A can't take care of the kid with X, so you got to give her 10X so you can take care of her and the kid. When y'all both are equal parents, to me, it's a money-making scam from the government, because at the end of the year, you got to pay taxes on it, which is weird. Why would you pay taxes on child support? It's the government. The government it's a money grab. They don't care what you paying this person. They don't care. They like, how much money can we get out of y'all to get taxes on the back end? If 50% of all marriages end in divorce, you could argue that 30% of those people have children and there's some type of child support alimony set up. And the government is going to get their cut. And the richer you are, the more of a cut the government is going to get from you. They're going to get it on taxes. They're going to get it on child support. They're going to get it where they can. That's why I feel like the numbers are astronomical, because it's a tax. It's a state tax. They can get you $50. I don't know how much money I had to pay in taxes for that, or we had to pay, because the mama don't get the money. They give it to in taxes. So it's crazy, man. And I think that, I don't know, man. It's God is good and it's God is bad, man. Sometimes it may work, it may be reasonable. And I think most of the time it's not reasonable. Sometimes it is. It's just people leveraging each other. And that's all it is. Because two people should be able to agree and be reasonable with one another, to agree to say, hey, man, I really only need this much money for the kid. Can you do that? Okay, do that every month. Let's sign a little contract to commit to that. You do it every month and we cool. But nah, people don't want to do that. They're like, nah, $17,000 a month sound just fine. And that is crazy. Anyway, but that's why you shouldn't be having kids out of wedlock. Anyway. We men should vote for people who run on fixing these issues. Nobody's going to fix these issues. Women have taken over the space. There's no way in the world they're going to fix child support issues. It's not going to happen. Men just have to stop having kids with women that they ain't married to, committed to. Then you're less likely to have to worry about child support, and stop marrying women who fine and start marrying women who are the best fit for your life. And then you'll be fine. All right. See, Jim know what I'm talking about. He said child support should only go onto a special type of debit card that only allows to buy clothes and child's necessity items, which the dude hit. Watch the dude hit the fan. I mean, that's how I feel. Like there should be like a voucher. Like if you pay child support and they break the money up and they say you owe X amount because this should go to food, this should go to clothes, this should go to so and so. There should be a debit card with or some type of a stipend that says this money go to clothes, this money go to food, and then you spend it that way. And at the end of the month, it has to be reconciled. Where if this went to the club, this went to buying alcohol, you owe that money back. You owe that money back. You know what I'm saying? You like it really shouldn't be that hard. It should be like there should be like things that you could do for the child. Like you say, well, okay, I'm gonna buy food. There should be X amount of dollars you spend towards food, which I guess you can buy all the food for yourself. But once that number is exhausted for the month, now you have to dip in your own pocket, which is what's supposed to happen in the first place because both people are supposed to be taking care of a kid, not just one. Child support is support. It's not to take care of the whole kid. So daddy's money is exhausted and then mama's money is exhausted, and that takes care of the kid. They should be both spending the same amount. They should both spend the same amount. Like if daddy have to pay $500 in child support, then mama should have to be spending $500 on the kid as well, or whatever the split payment is. The problem is in many cases, I'm not saying all, is that mama don't spend $20 of her money and then she spend all daddy money and then that's it. And that's the kids. That's all the kid get in life is just that. And the government will never follow up on that. And they don't care. They don't care. Like, I mean, I'm just saying, like, if you want it to be manipulative, you can do it. And that's the problem. Like, if you wanted to go, oh, I need $10,000. I need $2,000 a month for one kid. But they don't take into account that you could be married to another person or dating another person and you have two household incomes. And y'all got enough to take care of you and the kid. But the other person got to drop this $2,000 a month. And some people don't get married because then they don't want it to affect their child support status. So they still have a status of being a single mother, although they're in a relationship with another person who have dual income. And then they got dual income, but the daddy's still paying like the woman is single. I'm telling you, man, it gets wild out here. I feel like that. I wish somebody would fix it. I wish it would be more fair. I wish they would just keep it and say, a 5-year-old needs this money, 10-year-old needs this money, 15-year-old needs this money. That's the amount of money that a kid needs. I don't think a kid's needs change because the parents are too broke or too wealthy. The kid needs this amount of money. Y'all need to come up with this money. And, you know, I'm more willing for the government to help subsidize those things than for them just giving people money just to be with no daddy. You know, your baby daddy over here, you get the government assistance. You get all the money you want from the government, food stamps and everything because you're a single parent. It's like, no, I'd rather you subsidize what the daddy can't afford. He has to pay X, and if he too broke to pay that, then you could subsidize in the in-between. Because then a man has to be responsible to a certain degree as well, and a woman has to be responsible. Nowadays, they like, girl, have a kid and walk off and get government money, and you'll be making bank. You can live off of the government. Anyway, let me get off of this. Somebody said no more than $200 per kid. I know dudes that are paying big money. I mean, I'm like, how is that possible? You are a very judgmental person. I do believe that her actions were selfish, but dang, you just know everything. I do. Let's see. Andrea, thanks so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Who you got on McGregor versus? You must be spelling his name wrong. I got the American. What do you mean? I'm gonna be at the fight too, by the way. No, you got it right. Poirier, I think his name Poirier. I got the American. I think Poirier is an American. I think he's American for Louisiana, right? Let me see. Where's his flag at? Is he an American? I think he's an American. Y'all know I don't care what the situation is. I got to go with the American. Let's see. Let me look him up. American professional. All right. Y'all know I'm going with the American. Dustin Poirier or whatever his name is. Poirier. Can't even say his name right. But I'm going for Dustin over Conor McGregor, man. I hope Dustin put them things on him. I'll be there at the fight. Mary said, I don't know if Mary is the guy or the girl, but I'm assuming it's the lady saying this. She said, I pay $1,000 for 3 kids and I only made $2,300. Bro, that's crazy. That is crazy. It's not, but the government don't care. They don't care nothing about what she said. $1,000 for 3 kids, including school fees. $1,000 for 3 kids, that's a rent. And I wouldn't even be, that wouldn't even be bad if you paid $1,000 for 3 kids, as long as there was some accountability on both sides. If you paying $1,000 for 3 kids, the other parent should be paying $1,000 for those 3 kids too. That means that they should be, because like let me say this. A person that's a single person or whatever, you get an apartment, right? The difference between a 1-bedroom and a 2-bedroom apartment, to me, should be the difference of the father being able to split that difference. A person shouldn't be able to live in like a 5-bedroom house and be like, okay, the kid got to eat. So I pay $10,000 a month for a house, and that kid is living in that house, so the dad should help me pay for that house. It's like, nah. How much is a standard 1-bedroom? How much is a standard 2-bedroom apartment? Because you can stay in an apartment. What's the difference between that? What is the median difference? And then both of the parents should take responsibility for sharing the difference, not the entire complex. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because somebody would do something real bad to somebody, man. You go live in a big old crazy house and be like, yeah, you should pay for it. It's like, nah, my thing is this, like, in my situation I'm in, if the roles were reversed, I wouldn't even, I'm gonna say this about child support. If the roles were reversed and I had my child, if I don't need the money, I'm not gonna even ask you to pay for nothing. If I don't need the money, then I'm not gonna force you to pay child support if I don't need it. If I don't need it, why are you gonna pay if I don't need it? If I can cover all the bills and take care of a kid without needing anything, then I'm not going to ask you for it. Why? Because what's the point? You can keep your little $500 or something, because why would I ask you for it if I don't need it? I don't need it. I'm not going to ask you for it. Go take that money and build yourself up and grow and invest and do things so when the kid go back with you, you can have an empire versus me ask you for money that I'm just going to blow on something. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't really need it. But anyway. Let's see. All right, I'm getting out here. I want to go smoke my cigar. And I want to go hang out with my wife, okay? Let's see. Thank y'all for the super chats. And like I said, man, these things are just opinions. I have an opinion about it. You're entitled to your own opinion. So be it. I do think the system is broken. I think the system is broken. But like at the same time, like I'm blessed enough to not. I wouldn't. You know, when my son comes with me or whatever, I don't need any help. I don't. I've been blessed enough to have help, but I'm not gonna sit here and try to get revenge and be like, well, you made me pay, I'm gonna make you pay. It's like, nah, man, just do you. Do you. I got this. Just do you. Just cover, you know. So therefore, when he with you, you can do more stuff. You can like have that money to do more stuff when he with you. Because you just giving it to me is like just giving it to me to put in my bank account. You know what I'm saying? You know, put it in my bank account. Just, you know, like my thing would be like, just pay half of the flights. Just, you know, be reasonable, be fair. You know, if you want to come see him, then you got more money to come visit because you can keep that money, so you can take that to come visit. I don't need your money. That's how I look at it. Some people got like that, some people don't. But if you got like that, don't ever abuse the other person. Don't ever be mischievous to the other person. Because at the end of the day, God can see what's going on. And if God knows you don't need it, but you gouging the other person because you just want to get back at them, you're not going to be blessed. If God has provided it for you and you know that you don't need it, then don't do that to the other person. Even if they did it to you, don't do it to them. And then God will make it right with you. But anyway, somebody said my ex worked underneath the table for the first 3 years. So then didn't have to pay anything, and he didn't even see them, visit them, or anything. Which is, hey, you know, that's bad on a man. Like, you're a coward if you don't try to see your kids. As long as you're not a crazy woman, you know, a man that just don't take his responsibilities is not good. I don't like men like that. I had to take it on the chin for 11 years. You know, I didn't always agree with what the court said, but it is what it is. I just pay it every month. It come out my check. But like for the daddies out there that be trying to cheat the system, you know, I don't like that. Don't cheat the system. Don't be getting paid under the table so you don't have to pay nothing. Don't do that. Don't do that. Because all the other daddies out here grinding, you know, just to try to be in their life and stuff. All right, I think I'm done with this. I appreciate you guys jumping on. It was just one little random little live stream that I wanted to do. I was bored. I said I'll do one a day. None of my team knew I was doing a live stream. I don't even expect them to be watching. I just jumped on. But I love you guys. I appreciate all the support, man. I'm going to get up out of here, play a little music, and I'm going to bounce. Somebody said 70% of black dads don't care about their kids. I highly doubt that, man. I think that most dads care about their kids, but I think that there's a few things that happen. You know, like either the mama is a lunatic, or daddy give up, or daddy's a deadbeat. That's the three options. You know, that's what happens. Like, I think majority of men that are not involved with their kids is because the woman. I honestly, that's what I believe, is that they deal with women who are just absolutely out of control. That play games, that's manipulative, and dads just they not involved. According to the mom, they're not involved. They can't handle that drama for years and years and years. They can't do it. They give up, and they walk away, and they give up, and they go start another family, and they never look back. But then there's a fraction of them are deadbeats, man. They just lazy. They don't want to do nothing. They don't want to support. They want to go play. They want to be at the club. And I think that if I had to do a percentage, I think about 40%. I think about 40% dads love their kids and are involved with their kids' life. I think that's what it is. About 40%. No obstructions. About 40%. Let me look at this because I'm talking about a few different things. In general, I think about 40% of dads are in their kids' lives. The rest of the percentage is, in and out, and then you go on to not in their life at all. Out of the dads that are not in their kids' lives, I think that 80% of them are because drama with the baby mama, either playing games at birth, playing games after birth, either don't want to let you see the kids, what I'm saying, got you on some crazy, trying to put you on child support, I feel like, man, 80, probably 60%. I say 60%, not 80, maybe 60. I'm gonna be very conservative. 60% of dads go that way, and then you have another 20% of dads who have just given up. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not involved in their kids' life consistently because they've given up. They say, forget it, I'm done, I'm getting married, I'm going on with my life. The other 20 is just complete deadbeat dads that I would love to take out back and just throw the hands on them. That's how I think. That's just my opinion based on what I've seen. Because I know a lot of dudes they're good dudes and they get painted as deadbeat dads, and you're like, why you call you a deadbeat dad? Don't you go see your kids every weekend? Yeah. She just don't want. She just want them to hate me, Anyway, so I said, what about the panel discussion? We got the panel discussion coming up Thursday. Anyway, I better get off here. I need to go be with my wife. I love you guys, man. I appreciate you for watching. Thank you for joining, and I'm out. Peace.